Greetings, everyone. This is Claire. Welcome to our Vibrational Upgrading Clearings and Activations call. Thank you all for being here and for taking the time to honor and invest in your own spiritual growth. We have lots to look forward to, and Dr. Alison has many, many new things to share with us to help us each get on track with what we're seeking in our own lives, and also to massively uplevel the existence of humanity on planet Earth right now through these awakening times. For those of you who don't know, Dr. Alison's expertise is a result of practicing as a mind-body energy healer for more than 25 years. She's founded the Vibrational UPgrade System and has been working in yoga, meditation, qigong, energy medicine, mind-body fitness, nutrition, longevity, and holistic health. She's a pioneer in the field of energy medicine and consciousness and is known by her peers as a thought leader. She's also considered to be one of the leading experts in her field, and even more specifically on using the chakra system as the roadmap for thriving in mind, body, and spirit while applying it in a unique way. She's been divinely guided to do what she does, and that is to help infuse each one of us with the power that we have innately within us, and to also choose more for ourselves. She considers the work she does to you or with you all as her service to humanity, and that's the reason she's been holding this free monthly call for years. So stay tuned to find out what this can look like for you. But before that happens, I wanted to share a bit about my personal relationship with Dr. Alison and her work. So I was drawn to work with her in part due to her intellectual explanation of how consciousness works. Her entire first book, What If There's Nothing Wrong, clearly explains the science behind meditation, then energy, and consciousness that is really easily understandable and digestible. I started working with her in different capacities for several years within the Magic Manifestation Money Flow program first, and then in her mastermind program. All along for years now, in the background, I've been seeking, along with my husband, the perfect family compound, a home that would be large enough for us all, in addition to having a few acres with an outbuilding space for a workshop that could be a meeting space. It could be a space to create whatever we desire, a space for animals, a space to grow vegetables, produce, herbs, flowers. And so on December 31st, our world changed. It finally happened. We found the perfect place, and then we stepped up and we said yes, and it's a step, believe me, but it's happening. We move in less than a month. We have looked for so long, and I finally surrendered. I know. I finally surrendered from that ego mind fight that I've been so attached to my whole life. And though I never gave up really, I just detached from that struggle. I let my heart do the calling, and along with you, my friend, and my lovely Dr. Alison, who's been getting our back energetically this whole time, the perfect place showed up. And it's fantastic, and we couldn't be more thrilled. So now I'm totally, completely at ease with just how much abundance there is out there. I've really, frankly, never slept better in my life, and I don't sleep well. But I've been sleeping like a baby. And I just feel confident now that the abundance is out there and it's there for the taking. And the tools that I've learned from you and how to make it happen with ease and grace are really, really easy. That higher vibration that I am now hooked into has just so much more power than the force and the push and the struggle that I used to operate under. And I would really love for everyone else to experience what I have. It's freaking phenomenal. So that's what I wanted to share.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Exhale. Yeah. I want to see, let me see if Kelly's out there. I want to see if she wanted to share with us too. A little bit about what she's learned.
Kelly, you there?
Cool.
I'm on. Well, Dr. Alison has basically been my hero. She has come in and just, with everything. Even I met her on the free calls, and she was changing my life in such a way. From the first call that I had with her, she's changed my life. She continues to change my life. I just finally found my self-sabotage, and I'm now going to be standing in my power, which wasn't even a pipe dream, and it's all because of her. She is absolutely amazing. I have been just dealing with unworthiness and not being able to even see that I wasn't standing in my power, but I knew I wasn't, but I couldn't see it. And I'm getting physical ailments over this and everything. And she's brought me out of that in a matter of months. And I've been working on it for years with many different people, many. And she just comes in and she'll kick your butt. But it's what I love about her.
Thanks, Kelly. I'm breathless right now. This is a lot of beautiful testimony. I'm getting waves of recognition over how much you're helping people, how much Claire's testimony. She just texted me saying somebody messaged her saying how inspired they are, and then Claire's own testimony. Heather, if you're up for it, will you press star too? Because you have a different circumstance than Kelly and one that's common for people.
Yes. What drew me to work with you, I've been hearing your calls off and on for the past 3 years. I felt a shift in what you were doing was a much more holistic approach, much more beyond just data. And that is what drew me to it, more of tapping into something deep. And then my personal blocks were dealing with, money issues with my husband and actually power issues, giving my power away. And the dynamic is that still it's kind of foggy to me, though I get it. It's that I get him to enforce in me to make me small, or, it's like a ping pong. There's a co-creation going on. And then, but tonight, what came out also is the dynamic of his insecurities also projecting onto me, and a lot of entanglement. It was actually, I felt a wave of sadness come over me when you brought that awareness up. And it was like such a release, like, oh, okay, understanding it or hearing it claimed, somehow it just was so helpful to feel it in that realm.
Lightness I feel in here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Kelly. So you're hearing from a couple of people, and Claire too, the shifts that are possible. And Heather is still in process, and as is Kelly. Kelly came to me really wanting to stop being so empathic, or reshape her empathicness into a shaping that was more manageable for her and a bit more enjoyable for her. And so that's what the physical ailments that she was talking about that were happening in reaction. Her body was saying this isn't working. And so we've been working her out of that pattern and reconnecting her to her own power and doing certain things in her field that I know to do in her unconscious and subconscious that will then recreate a different field that she emanates out, so that the vulnerability she's had to outside influences is not at all what it has been. And I see this a lot throughout the years with a lot of people on these free calls. So that's why I wanted to have Kelly speak up, because it's something that happens so frequently where you feel bombarded by the negative energies of others. Then Heather, because especially in the free vibrational upgrade community, there's always people talking about wanting more abundance, right? I mean, how many out there of you want an easier time of finances? And quite frankly, like by this point, I can whip off clearings for finances. So I'm going to enter into a transmission mode here, help you all know that there are certain things that are up right now on planet Earth that are causing more of a sense of challenge. And I speak about this a lot in my second book, as I did on my radio show for 2.5 years with Voice America, about the great shift that's happening in the planet, and humanity is purging. All of the karma has come up as we completely reshuffle in what is known to be the biggest and greatest evolutionary leap ever for humanity, more than when we went upright.
And so things are disturbed right now as they are reforming into a much more unified, beautifully balanced, just, abundant, golden era. I know that might sound too good to be true, but if you are believing something can be too good to be true, I'm going to run some energy to dismiss that, because that's conditioning that doesn't serve you in living your best life. Claire gives a great example of living her best life. There's, in the 20-something years I've been doing this work, part of that involved moving over to Asia to study how subtle energy works. I had already been running energy medicine sessions for people alongside my classroom teaching for I don't know how many years at that point. I think it was like 5. And so I wanted to get better results quicker for my clients. I wanted to go to the source of understanding energy. So I entered into the international school system and chose to take the job offer that happened for me over in the Far East. I also did one in Istanbul. And that left me on my Chinese New Year vacations traveling around Asia and Southeast Asia, particularly going back to Thailand over and over again, where I really went into depth with some holistic healing treatments, as I did on a daily basis, basically in Taiwan, where I lived for much of the time with the traditional Chinese. But in my last year living over there in Taiwan, I wrote for my PhD, what was for my dissertation and eventually evolved into my first book, a complete compilation of the science that had emerged at that point to measure subtle energy. Because I was living in a hemisphere where they honor energy before matter, whereas over here in the West, you know, it's you have to see it to believe it. And we're in a time now, if you look at the conflation of the interest in the LOA, the much beloved law of attraction idea, people are awakening to the mechanics of energy. And that's what I work with day in and day out. And it's from a scientific understanding and a scientific foundation, because my own incredibly logical, rational, reason-based mind had to understand how this works as best I could. And I moved around, traveled around the world, and interviewed the top leading scientists in order to. And then I turned around, and I have turned around, and I am turning around, and I'm presenting it all to you and doing work with all of you on behalf of uplifting humanity in these times. So that's what we're up to here. It's a really important time to be cued in tethered into something bigger than you that helps give you the biggest perspective and to help you maintain that biggest perspective so that you can be all that you can be. So what Claire was talking about, being able to finally say yes and actually have that home, the perfect home, show up, were a certain confluence of collapses of blocks and clearings that have happened so that her energy could flow in a certain way to then pull to her that opportunity and her to be able to say yes to it. It was a big leap. This home is it's just unreal. It's everything she wanted and then more. And her mind is a bit blown. When I looked at her eyes when she was describing it to me, she could barely wrap herself around what she was saying yes and allowing herself to say yes to. So while I use the words in my daily posts too, like allow and surrender and trust, I mean, all of those are involved being the heart chakra. But there's certain mechanics that I spend day in and day out doing with my people on the blocks that exist at the unconscious and subconscious level, whether it's your particular karma and life and lifetimes and conditioning that cause you not to open up to allowing yourself to receive more, or you're just there, and usually it's coupled by the ego mind sabotaging, and then that's my meditation and mindfulness background. I bring those two worlds together, meditation and mindfulness in yoga, because I got trained and certified in India with the energy medicine from studying the subtle energy. The whole aspect of holistic health is a component too, in order to help people with health issues when they're really entrenched. Nonetheless, we have running a special right now, by the way, for the Magic Manifestation and Money Flow program, both of which Kelly and Heather were speaking from, and also Claire spoke about, and Claire's now in the mastermind. So there's a couple of other programs while we are running that special for Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, because we're about to raise the prices on Chinese New Year, the new moon Tuesday. I've had people come in and they've just been like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting all of this for this cheap of a price. And it's true. And my business coach has been on my butt to raise the prices. And it's only now that I feel like, okay, yes, and it's not even a big change. It's an incremental shift, because I want to still get this work out, hence this free call on a monthly basis for 8 years now to people who need it. But if you want to be immersed in a program that is, where Kelly said magical ass kickings or that's the term. I think she used a little bit different than that. I mean, I'm with you, and I'll stay with you to get you through the blockage. I have personal training certification, so there's an element of that kind of holding you accountable to your yes and keeping you committed to yourself, even while you're flailing around in your healing crisis, saying no, as all the blocks that I've called up are getting cleared. So the Magic Manifestation and Money Flow is my signature program, and there's limited call slots for you to get in. Working with me nowadays is by invite only because the work that I do works, and it's in such demand. But there are a couple of other ways, and I'm still working with people. There's one-on-one sessions, and then there's also VIP intensives, and then I also am what's one of the many things that's getting established now is more sacred retreats and leading people to power spots and sacred sites. So the VIP intensives are for folks who do have possibly health challenges, or you're in crisis right now, or you just want something taken care of now and you're sick of waiting. And that's an intensive immersion over a short period of time with some extended support from me after the intensive, which we can do from a distance online with prolonged meetings so that you're immersed in the energies, and I'll send you the necessary products and such to support you before and after the immersion. It is my joy, and it is also following my guidance from where we are in our awakening times in that 20-year window from 2012 to 2032. We're in the second third of it. If you divide a 20-year window, let's extend it another year and put it into thirds. We're now in the second 7-year period, and my understanding when I started asking about 2019 and everything I'm seeing, y'all, it's about grounding this new paradigm in. And so many of you are looking probably, and you can go back to the free call for at the end of December for the new year where I reviewed a lot of the alignments that are coming up this year that help give the astrological and cosmic explanation of the influences energetically that we're going to be receiving in 2019. But as I always do, I checked in with my guidance and listened. Some would say channel what is needed now, and it seems like really building the structures to get the new life established, the new paradigm established, feet on the ground, presence in the body, moving forward step by step organically at a time is what we're up to now. So it's not so much as all of us getting riveted by those golden frequencies that were showering and pouring down from the solar flares, from all the different alignments that were happening from 2012 and a little bit before that on, where you're spaced out and you can't concentrate or you can't focus as much, or you're just really looking into wanting to spend the day in meditation or go out to nature or go on retreat and live on retreat. It's different now. We're integrating it and we're implementing the new choices and new behaviors and new creations, physicalizing it now. So that's what we're up to, and that's also why you're seeing a bit more me talk about Magic Manifestation and Money Flow, my signature program, in which I help people do that in whatever way it's appropriate for them. So that having been said, the fatigue level that I'm perceiving in the collective when checking with my guidance and channeling what would contribute to you all the most, I definitely picked up on. So what I want to suggest is you all put your hands on your heart chakra, so right in between the breasts or the nipples in the center line there. That central column is the chakra column. And then take the other hand and put it at the tailbone. So my work is done much more in silence now without the clearings that some of the folks who've been around for years with me following and receiving services and products at different times. The energy is so much more precise and higher from all of the work I've continued to do and all of the sacred travels and power spots I've gone to. It's silent and it's immediate. So right now what's happening is you're getting energy run on your system to help you feel safe and to help boost your vitality. So part of what I've seen is one of the possible interpretations that can happen in this chaos of the reshuffling, of the collapsing of the old and the winding down of the old paradigm, and then the uncertainty and the unknown of the new is people not feeling safe. So you can see that reflected in our politics and acted out in our politics, which can further compound your mind's capacity to conclude these are unsafe, chaotic times right now. That's not what's happening. In chaos lies opportunity. The Chinese character for chaos contains one of the two characters that actually on its own means opportunity. Yeah. Group exhale. You can feel that. Keep the hand on the tailbone and the other hand on the heart. Some of the things that you might feel during this is your feet might twitch. You might see your shoulders twitch. You might see muscular twitching as the blockage gets cleared and the energy breaks up. You might feel more heat in the area. You might be seeing colors. You might be having goosebumps. A lot of the times I've seen people's necks and shoulders shudder. You might be coughing. You might be yawning. You might be getting spaced out as the blockage keeping you more embodied and feeling more safe is getting cleared. And if you're not feeling anything at all, that's fine too. The work is still getting done. It just depends on your level of perception. Okay, much cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and go to Cecilia. I'm calling on you. What can I do for you, though?
Sorry, no, I can't think of any question right now.
What were you going to ask?
I don't know. Okay, I'll just listen.
Speak it. What is it?
No, I don't know what to ask right now. So,
okay, then put your hand over the front of your throat chakra. All of you can do this. I'm going to help with feeling like you have more choice. So this energy I'm running right now is to help you feel less restricted, help you feel less limited, and help you tune into the possibilities that are actually available for you to choose from. And to help them, I'm going to be infusing the energy right now with more possibilities coming into you. So Cecilia, keep your hand over the front of your throat chakra. And if you have the second hand free, go ahead and put the other hand in the back of your neck, raised up from the front hand by about 1/2 inch. So Cecilia, what I'm perceiving that's clearing right now is a lot of self-limiting, self-blocking behaviors where you do exactly what you just did on this call, hey? Where you raise your hand and then you back down. So where you're blocking yourself from choosing what you actually want for whatever your mind stories run, whatever they say, whatever your mind runs for stories as to why you should not. So working on the self-limiting, self-restriction. Cecilia, did your mother tend to shrink back and keep herself small? So I get this visual right now of you like trailing behind your mom, really close to her and absorbing her energy. So this became a pretty strong imprint in you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
If I were to ask you, Cecilia, tell me one of the times that your mother made a choice where you could see she was really shrinking back and keeping herself small. What story comes to mind growing up?
She's been insecure her whole life, maybe because she was orphaned at an early age and her relatives took care of her. She wasn't confident at all.
Okay, do you have both hands free, Cecilia?
Yes.
Take the one that's in the front of your throat chakra and bring it down to the front of your solar plexus. Yeah, this is going to help you with increasing confidence and increasing higher willpower. So one hand is in the front of your third chakra, your solar plexus. Yep, just made contact. Did you just move your hand there?
Yes.
Yeah, I could feel the contact. And the other hand's in the back of the neck. So in my second book, Vibrational Upgrade, A Conspiracy for Your Bliss, I go into the fifth chakra quite a bit because what I started to see around that time, I think it was 2015 and 16, was this thing called the Co-Creators Channel for the fifth and the fourth chakras. The fifth one was becoming the second power center. And I view it as that because it's also where we make our choices from and where we create from. And so if we're stepping up in great part, the second leap that we're making in this 20-year window is stepping into no more victimization, but empowerment to co-create by our choices, whatever it is we're here and desiring to create. This chakra is the second will center, as well as the third, which is more like the human will. So we want to give you more power and confidence to actually allow yourself to choose what it is you really want to be choosing instead of blocking yourself and stepping back from a choice right as you're about to make it or as you start to get offered the possibility and then you talk yourself out of it, right? How many of you guys do that?
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I'm going to tone there's a massive throat chakra clearing going on right now. As you can hear me clearing my throat, I'm going to go ahead. So when I cough and when my throat does what you all just heard it do, it's because I'm clearing the collective. So I'm going to go ahead and do a tone. It's going to sound kind of funny. It comes from the lion's pose in yoga, but it's the tone for the fifth chakra. Once you hear it, I'm sticking my tongue out of my mouth and I'm saying EH. So you all can do that too with me if you want. Inhaling. Throat chakra with the hand that was on the back of it. You have so much that just got cleared. Cecilia, that's you. I'm seeing like your shoulders are being able to like lift more now. They don't feel so weighed down or so burdened. Does that make sense, Cecilia? If you would
yes, it does. Yes,
cool.
Yeah, I had a problem with that. It's like I've been carrying a heavy load on my shoulders.
Yeah. So in the free gifts file, like I went through on last week's Magic Manifestation and Money Flow call, go through them. There's one that talks about stepping up and stepping out. You want to be focusing on that this week, and then I'll get back to you. All right, love. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And with that, much love, y'all.